It's going to leave it up to Jason Giambi.
I was just kind of looking, saying, God, just hit a dribbler to short.
Reed ready, 1-1 pitch. Giambi with a drive, deep right field. Are you kidding me? Oh, my! The Indians have won it. Their 11th walk-off win of the season, and none more dramatic than this one right here, right now. If you don't believe there's something special happening with this bunch, then you haven't been paying attention. Incredible. Jason Giambi had Progressive Field rocking last night with his game-winning home run in the bottom of the ninth, and now a flash crowd of maybe 30,000 or more headed to Progressive Field tonight to pay homage to the Indians as they bid adieu to the regular season here tonight. Hi again, everyone. Matt Underwood alongside Rick Manning. This is the final regular season home game of the season. Hopefully we'll be back here for October baseball. Still a long ways to go until we get to that point. But, Rick, you go back to last night's game, and we keep looking at all these little things that keep aligning for the Indians. Even when something bad happens, it turns out okay. Michael Bourne gets hurt. Matt Carson goes into the game. And because it's Matt Carson, Terry Francona pinch hits Jason Giambi there.
It is amazing, and all the stars are lined up. When you think about it, if you look at Michael Brantley's ground ball base hit, it hits the lip of the grass, it goes over the glove of second baseman Gordon Beckham into right field to keep the inning or get the inning started, and then Giambi comes up to pinch hit for Matt Carson. It just continues to happen well for the Indians, and I mean, who could have scripted it any better than the way it ended with Jason Giambi hitting that big home run?
So many big hits for Giambi, so many big moments for this Indians team all season long, and that brings us to today. The wild card standings as we sit here. So right now the Indians, a game behind Tampa, a game in front of Texas. So yeah, they have a little wiggle room, but you really have to keep the pedal to the metal.
I still like what we've been saying for the last 2 weeks, Matt. You have to win. I mean, they don't have to look anywhere else. Just win the ball games they have to play. Continue to play like they've been playing. The momentum is in their favor. If they can't build off that win last night, you can't build off anything. So just go get them, Tribe. Don't look around.
We'll see if the Indians can keep the heat on. They've won 5 in a row, 10 out of 12. And tonight they'll look to take it to the White Sox one more time. We'll be back with the play-by-play between the Tribe and the Chicago White Sox coming up next. Everybody is still on a high from last night's walk-off win, authored by Jason Giambi and the Tribe. And this place is up for grabs here tonight. A big crowd showing up for the final home game of the regular season as the Indians try to sweep this brief 2-game series from Chicago. On the hill for the Indians will be right-hander Danny Salazar. The young fireballer will face this lineup for Robin Ventura's White Sox here tonight. Alejandro De Aza will lead it off. Lurie Garcia batting second. Alexei Ramirez third. Connor Gillespie hits cleanup. Avisail Garcia will bat fifth. Diane Viciedo sixth. Then it's Jordan Danks, Marcus Semien, and Josh Fegley.
Danny Salazar on the mound for the Indians tonight, and Salazar a 1-3 record, a 309 earned run average. His last start against the Chicago White Sox was something very special. 3 2/3 innings. He had 9 strikeouts in that ball game and only 4 hits. Of course, he threw 78 pitches, so he was out of that game early. You'd like to see him stay around a little bit longer. He has only had 1.74 run support when he's in the game. He's been shut out 5 times or has had no run support, zeros in 5 different games when he's been on the mound. So hopefully the Indians can get him something early, and he'll let some of them put it in play, and he can stick around a lot longer. Let's check the key Indians defense behind him tonight. It'll be Brantley in left, Stubbs is in center, Swisher in right, Chisenhall at third, Cabrera at short, Kipnis at second, Santana at first, and Gomes behind the plate.
Mike Everett calling the balls and strikes tonight. Tim Welke at first, Dan Bellino at second, Bruce Dreckman down at third. We're ready to go here tonight. 66 degrees at game time. It was very breezy earlier this afternoon when we first arrived here at the ballpark. That wind was cutting in pretty good from center and right center field as it was last night. Not quite as breezy at game time here tonight as it was for much of last night's ball game. Danny Salazar ready to go for the Tribe. The Indians have won 5 in a row, 10 out of their last 12, a season high 17 games over the 500 mark. And Salazar winds it up and fires a fastball in there at 95 miles an hour for strike one. Took off, up high, 1-1.
De Aza hit the home run to give the White Sox a lead last night in the top of the 9th inning. That was his 17th on the year.
That's out of play. And the count 1 ball and 2 strikes.
For Salazar, his 10th major league start. And, you know, he's fun to watch. You want to watch him toe the rubber on any given night because he has certainly swing and miss stuff.
Strike 3 called. And we're underway as Salazar gets the punch out to start the ball game.
On the changeup. It is a beautiful pitch. You're sitting 95 and you get an 87-mile-an-hour changeup. And, I mean, you just don't pull the trigger. And I hope he has a good changeup tonight because you will see a lot of that. We haven't really seen him go with a really good changeup or a really good slider in his last starts, in his last number of starts.
It seems like there have been times where he's been reduced to simply fastballs. And he's a guy, because of his age and because of the electricity of that fastball, he can survive at times with just that fastball.
If you keep it out of the middle of the plate, he certainly can. He's given up only 38 hits in his 47 innings pitched.
Up high, 1 ball, 1 strike.
You know, he's not a guy like somebody that keeps the ball around the plate and you have a chance to put it in play on every pitch because of the swing and miss stuff. So like that, defensively, you know, you could end up getting caught on your heels because he has so many swings and misses or foul balls.
The 1-2 pitch. just a little bit low. That was awfully good. And that hit 99 miles an hour.
Check it out on our Nissan pitch tracker. You're going to see where it is located, and it is a little down. Not by much. It sounded low.
Boy, was he fooled badly on that off-speed pitch. He runs hard, and the throw goes wide of first. Tell you what, he really busted it down the line.
Yeah, it surprised Kipnis. I think it surprised him, and I want to see what happened to Santana over there. Here comes the throw, and it's a wide throw. He had no chance at it. That was just a bad throw by Kipnis. I think Leury Garcia surprised him. They give him a base hit, but I'll tell you what, that play should have been made. They give him a base hit. That's kind. He surprised him. He got down the line in a hurry.
So 1 on 1 out now for Alexei Ramirez. And a first pitch strike from Danny Salazar. Swung out and missed. He's got that 98 to 99 mile an hour fastball at times here tonight. And then he goes to the off-speed pitch. And even if they're not strikes, you can see some of these White Sox hitters hard to lay off. The 0-2. Fouled right back.
This is the one guy at the plate for Chicago that has been in there day in and day out. He's the staple out there defensively in the middle of the diamond. And Ramirez had a pretty good year offensively.
He really has.
When you look at the whole package, because he's not a guy that's going to drive you in runs. He's normally hit down in the lineup towards the bottom or maybe second at times.
It's hit pretty well to left field, but Brantley has room. And that's out number 2. Drew Stubbs getting the start tonight in center field. Michael Bourne, who left last night's game with a jammed wrist, out of the lineup. Katie Witham has the latest on Bourne's status.
Well, Matt, he's listed as day-to-day with a jammed right wrist, as you mentioned. But Michael Bourne today in the clubhouse said that he's feeling very good. Terry Francona even said that he begged him to be in the lineup today. But the way they look at it right now, Matt, is even though they know they need to win this game, they know that they need a 100% healthy Michael Bourne. So today is his day inside getting treatment. They hope to have him back in that lineup tomorrow.
Katie, he is available, though, to pinch run if necessary.
Yes.
Is that true?
Yes, he is. And they did have him taking some swings, too. And he said his wrist felt all right. You may see some sort of a brace or a padding on that right wrist if he does get out on the base path.
All right, thank you very much. Leury Garcia at first with 2 down here in the first inning. Swung on and missed. That was the scary moment, I guess, if you call it that, in the game. It didn't look bad initially, but you pointed out he looked like he was trying to flex that wrist.
Yeah, watch him when he gets up. I don't know if we're going to stay with, but when he put that landing hand down, you can see he's wincing. Sometimes when you put that landing hand down, that's why they teach you to slide with both arms up. And then at that time, he wanted to, take a little pressure off, and he hurt his wrist.
0-2 count. The pitch, a little bit outside. Well, and I mentioned this in our open of the telecast tonight, but when I was talking to Jason Giambi before the game, he said, isn't that funny how things work out? If Michael Bourne doesn't get hurt and have to go out of the game, he said, I probably don't get a chance to pinch hit there.
That is correct. When you sit back and you reflect the whole picture.
The 1-2 runner goes. Swing and a miss. He strikes him out. And Gomes throws to first. That will end the inning. Salazar strikes out a pair, and the Indians are coming to bat. Starting lineup tonight, brought to you by Progressive, making it easy to bundle your home and car insurance. Michael Brantley goes into the leadoff spot tonight, and he is riding an 8-game hitting streak. Nick Swisher bats second, then Jason Kipnis. Carlos Santana, Yan Gomes, and Dribble Cabrera occupy the middle third. Then it's Jason Giambi, Lonnie Chisenhall, and Drew Stubbs.
Dylan Axelrod on the mound for the White Sox. His first 2 games against the Indians were starts. Coming back on April 22nd, it was a no decision. He pitched 6 innings, and he went a no decision on June 29th. His last 3 appearances have been out of the bullpen against him this year. So he has been back and forth. This will be his 20th start on the year, 5.72 ERA.
Michael Brantley looks at a first pitch strike. Top of the zone from Dylan Axelrod. During Brantley's 8-game hitting streak, he has collected 14 hits. A couple of homers, 7 runs batted in.
Yeah, he's warming up at the right time.
Swung at the breaking ball, fouls it off. It's 0-2. You talk about heating up at the right time.
Well,
the numbers bear it out.
See you in September, baby. That's beautiful. A lot of people a little tired and going south. He's heading upward. I think August was his month where he was slowed down a little bit and might have hit the dog days.
And he hits another breaking ball. This one, he spanks it right into center field. So that hitting streak extends now to 9 games for Brantley.
Really waiting on the baseball, staying patient. That was a breaking ball that he just comes back and serves it right back up the middle. Doesn't try and go out and get it. And that's because his stride, if you look at his front foot, he just put it right down. And the only thing that transferred was his weight, and his hands get through the hitting area in a hurry. And look at that ball. That's about as pretty as you can get right there for a base hit.
.484 now during the hitting streak for Brantley. Takes his lead at first with Nick Swisher at the plate now. You know, you mentioned it last night. I've noticed Brantley doing it a lot more lately. Either that or I just wasn't paying attention to it before. But he'll take a 1 or 2 hard steps towards second base and then just stop.
Well, just to let them know, to see where he's figuring he can do and what kind of jump he may get.
That time he just took a normal shuffle lead.
Well, Brantley, he was down in the count 0-2 before he got that base hit. And, you know, Michael's not a burner. You know, he can steal you bases, but he'll pick and choose his time. Right now, you keep the hole for Swisher there between first and second. Unless you absolutely, you know, pitchers do such a much better job now holding runners on, especially if you're a base stealing threat. They're not afraid to throw over 2 or 3 times in a row. They'll quick pitch it. They'll slide step. So they do a really good job if they know you're going to go. But 80% is beautiful. That's very good.
Swisher fouls it right back.
And again, it comes down if you're going to try and steal bases. The Indians have 112 on the year. Steal them when they count. I don't care if they have 140. Don't steal them when it's 6-1 or something like that. If the ball game's on the line and you can steal a base, then you got to love it. And 80% is what you strive for as a base stealer.
The other one that I don't get, and I understand that there are more ways to score from third than there are from second because of the potential for a pass ball, a wild pitch.
Right.
But when you try to steal third with 2 outs, you better be able to almost go in there standing.
Yeah. Well, you should be in your own mind 100% sure. Unless that one guy at the plate is struggling so much, then you want to get those odds in your favor. But base stealers this year against Axelrod, 10 for 15. They have been successful 10 times.
Nick Swisher with a 2-ball, 2-strike count. Down and in. Good eye, lays off a tough pitch, full count. Jason Kipnis waiting on deck here in the first inning. Crowd settling in and still filing in. Bottom of the first inning. Brantley's moving. Payoff pitch hit in the air to right field. Down the line. Garcia over into the corner. Makes the catch. And back to first goes Brantley.
Let's check out that White Sox defense now. Behind Axelrod in left field, it's going to be Diasa. Danks is in center. Garcia in right. Semien is at third. Ramirez at short. Garcia at second. Gillespie at first. Fagley behind the plate.
Mention the crowd. You see him still filing through the gates. Busy night here in downtown Cleveland. Fans jumping on board as the Indians play their final home game of the regular season here tonight. Jason Kipnis looks at a ball down low. Kipnis batting .277 on the year. He's hit in each of his last 2 games. On the homestand, he has 6 hits in 20 at-bats. Hit hard to right field and in front of Garcia for a base hit. Brantley stops at second. And the Indians have 2 on with 1 out here in the first inning now as Kipnis barreled that baby up.
Yeah, he's starting to swing the bat a lot better.
Here now our keys to the game brought to you by Akron Children's Hospital. For the Indians, just keep grinding away. And looking for a hero. And that's been the theme of this team. Not necessarily relying on any one player to carry the weight. It's been Jason Giambi a number of times. It's been Michael Brantley at times. It's been Nick Swisher at times. It's been Santana. It's been Kipnis. This team has had everybody pitch in at one time or another. Santana, with 19 homers on the year, steps in and takes low ball 1. Hit in the air to left field. De Asa will make the catch, and the runners have to hold 2 down. That's going to bring up Yan Gomes. Gomes is one of those guys, Rick, when you look at his body of work this year, you could make a case he's been the most pleasant surprise because there were just so many unknowns about him when he came to camp with the Indians this year. Came over from Toronto in the offseason trade. And
they originally had him penciled in for Columbus to catch every day to see if he could be an everyday catcher at the major league level. Well, because of an injury to Lou Marson, he's forced up here. He has to get some playing time, and it's sparingly early in the year, but every time he got an opportunity, he seemed to do something that would open up some eyes. And here you go now into the month of September. He's catching almost every day now, and he's caught for what, the last 12 out of 14, something like that? 14 out of 16. And, you know, he's finding a way to do something. And not only that, he can catch, he can throw. His arm's been spectacular. And offensively, he's adding a lot of base hits when it counts, especially off the lefties.
Fouled back. 0-2 the count. Gomes had a career-high 9-game hitting streak that ended earlier this month on September the 10th. 2 on, 2 out. He's down on the count 0-2. Good block by Fegley. He's going to go out and chat with Axelrod here. You know, a year ago, the Chicago White Sox outscored the Indians in their season series in the first inning by a total of 45 runs.
Yeah.
So you look at the 19-game series, and basically they were playing from in front almost every night. This year, it's the Indians who've outscored them in the first inning by 24 runs. But where they've really made their mark is in the middle innings. Fifth inning, they've outscored Chicago by 49 runs.
Wow.
So you get them early, you add on in the middle. That's been their secret to success.
Well, I know they've had a lot of success against their bullpen this year, but if you break it down, I didn't realize it was that much in the fifth inning.
Robin Ventura's club.
That's been the 2 best innings for the Indians on the year, I believe, the first and the fifth, when you look at it.
Well, they've had most of their success. It seemed like when we were tracking
this.
It was
the
fifth and sixth innings, yeah. They've scored their most runs all season long in the fifth. And the first inning?
Second most.
Is the second most. Followed very closely by that sixth inning. So, yeah, the first and then the middle innings.
Well, it's been a good recipe for the Indians. Get the lead early. They're outstanding when they do that. (64-24), 40 games over.
Yeah, last night a little unconventional that they scored first and then had to come from behind a couple of times. Runners will be off. 3-2 pitch from Axelrod. Swung out and missed. Gomes strikes out. The inning is over. The Tribe strands a pair, and we are scoreless after 1. McDonald's now introducing 3 exciting new Quarter Pounders. And by Kia. Nightfall here in downtown Cleveland. No scores. We go to the second inning for Chicago. Avisail Garcia, Diane Viciedo, and Jordan Danks due up. That's hit well. Deep left center field and way out of here. Garcia, the big Thunder bat in the Chicago lineup tonight, gives the White Sox a 1-0 lead with his 7th home run of the season.
I'll tell you, there were a few balls hit hard last night that I thought had a chance to go out. And the wind kept it in. This one was a bomb to left center field. I mean, a long way, halfway up the bleachers. And I mean, he must have got a fastball. They wanted it away. Look at it come middle of the plate, middle third, belt high in, and he turned on it and hits it a ton for Garcia, his 5th home run. So Chicago will take a 1-0 lead.
Viciedo takes a strike. Diane Viciedo, 14 home runs, 55 driven in. Viciedo, a wicked swing and a miss. It's 0-2. Just a bit high and not by much. Viciedo awaiting the 1-2 pitch, and he chases that one up out of the strike zone. 3rd strikeout for Salazar. 1 down here in the second inning. Our injury report tonight brought to you by Elk & Elk, serious lawyers for serious injuries. Call 1-800-ELK-OHIO. Alan Craig of the Cardinals undergoing tests tomorrow. He's been out the last 19 games with a foot problem. Andre Ethier of the Dodgers day-to-day with an ankle problem. Jordan Danks looks at ball 1. I thought he called that a ball, but I guess it was a strike. What a catch by Santana. Oh, Carlos Santana gets up the step ladder and makes a terrific catch there for out number 2.
Well, he had it timed beautifully. This will be a perfect look at it. Line drive, and he goes up to the backhanded side, makes a fine catch, and used every inch of the glove. And that'll be out number 2. Good play, Carlos.
Swing and a miss by Marcus Semien. Comes right back with another strike in the count quickly. 0-2. Salazar kicks and deals. And it's popped right back out of play. Almost chased it. You could see Semien just barely start to offer at it, but able to hold up. Going to the changeup. Strike 3 call. Whoa. Locked him up. Already his 4th strikeout of the night. But Garcia's solo homer has Chicago in front early, 1-0. For the Tribe is Drupal Cabrera, Jason Giambi, and Lonnie Chisenhall due up. Cabrera was 0 for 4 last night. But he has been much more productive here in the month of September. Fouls this one right back.
Well, they responded last night when the White Sox got on the board. See if they can do that again, get that momentum back.
High in the air, slicing, and that's going to go out of play. Want to send out a special happy 47th anniversary wish to George and Arlene Harris in Ashland, Ohio.
All right. Happy anniversary.
Their nephew Warren Jones tells me they watch every game. They're locked in.
Well,
they've got Tribe fever.
As everybody does. Good for them. Congratulations.
Upstairs, a ball and 2 strikes. Jason Giambi waiting on deck as Cabrera sends one high and down the line again. This one slicing over near the corner, and it's caught by De Aza for out number 1. And that's going to bring up last night's hero, Jason Giambi, and listen to this crowd. A standing ovation.
Yeah, a sign of appreciation. No question.
And respect.
You talk about turning the crowd around in the swing of a bat.
Rips this one just fouled on that first base line. Lays off a ball in the dirt. Take a look right now at our Firestone Complete Auto Care Extra Mile Index. In the walk-off era, David Ortiz among active players is the leader. Jason Giambi 1 behind him. Giambi with a floater, and it's a fair ball down the right field line. Garcia over to cut it off, and Giambi has the Indians' 3rd hit of the night. Our great clip of the game. Jason Giambi back on July 29th against these White Sox, a walk-off game winner. And then, of course, last night's dramatic 2-run homer that took the Indians from certain defeat to ultimate victory. Since this ballpark opened in 1994, there have been 70 walk-off wins. 70 walk-off home runs.
Okay.
70 walk-off home runs. That's the most of any ballpark by far. Swung on and missed. And Lonnie Chisenhall digs himself into an 0-2 hole. Up and away. Surprisingly, the second most walk-offs since 1994, Oakland. The Coliseum in Oakland.
Yeah.
Walk-off home runs were
since 94.
Since 94.
Okay, I got you.
Home runs not exactly plentiful in that ballpark, and yet that's They've authored the second most in that stadium. Could have been a double play ball, but Alexi Ramirez dropped the ball at second, so no chance to turn two. Giambi's forced out, so there are 2 gone in the second inning. Well, Giambi's home run ball last night was certainly something that was sought after by a number of fans in the lower deck in right field. Katie Witham has more on just who collected that game winner.
Well, Matt, it was 6-year-old Jake Raffin who ended up coming up with Giambi's home run ball, and it was kind of a neat story. He was trying to get the ball signed when he found out that Jason Giambi actually wanted it back. He said he didn't have to think twice about it. He gave it back to Giambi. In return, he got a signed Giambi bat, which he said he liked a whole lot better. But even better, Matt, he ended up meeting Jason Giambi, surprised him, came in, and initiated him into the Goon Squad.
That is outstanding. Wild pitch sends Lonnie Chisenhall into scoring position with 2 down. It's just a guy who is so appreciative of each and every day that he spends in the big leagues. And I'm not saying that he ever took a day for granted earlier in his career, but I think as time marches on, he realizes the days, there aren't as many left.
Yeah,
and so he's savoring each and every one of them.
You have to. This game's very special. That's all you do when you're a young kid. And from that day on, and you realize that the end is in sight, you better appreciate him.
1-0 pitch. Fouled back out of play.
There's a lot of people that don't know what they're going to do or what they want to do, or ball players. They really don't. Done this since they were a kid.
Drew Stubbs trying to deliver here with 2 outs. Bangs it towards third. It goes off the glove of Semien. Coming around third with the tying run. Chisenhall beats the throw to the plate. And we are tied at 1. Drew Stubbs hit it hard. It took a big hop. Semien couldn't corral it. And around third, scoring is Lonnie Chisenhall. 1-1 here in the second.
Well, let's take a look at it. It's going to be our McDonald's. I'm loving it. There's a hop. It just goes off the glove of Semien. No reason why he can't make that play. In comes the throw from DeAsa. And with 2 outs, Chisenhall comes in to slide and score. And the defense hurt the White Sox once again. Their 119th error of the year. The Indians take advantage of it. They come back. They're able to tie it up. It's a 1-1 ball game.
I'll tell you, that second look made it look fairly routine. The look we had from the higher home camera almost looked like the ball took a wicked hop, but that lower level replay made it look fairly routine. Now Brantley singles into center field. That's going to bring home Drew Stubbs, and the Indians take a 2-1 lead.
Well, guess what? Brantley with 2 outs gets a base hit with a runner in scoring position.
He's done it all season long.
That's been the norm for Michael. He's been so clutch, so solid for him, and he comes through again. So Stubbs is able to score easily. So the wild pitch, an error, and now the Indians have 2 on the board, and it's a breaking ball. And Michael stayed right on it, right back up the middle. He got the breaking ball. His first at-bat went up the middle, and not even a play at home plate with Stubbs. So the Indians come back, and they take a 2-1 lead.
Nick Swisher fly to deep right his first time up, down the line into that corner. Brantley already 2 for 2 on the night, takes his lead at first base. Brantley takes off, pitch out, throw down, not even close. Brantley got a good jump. They pitched out. They did everything right. Fegley's throw was just high and off the mark.
You're right. They guessed right. They had everything going their way except a bad throw by Fegley. He had plenty of time. Let's see if he gets his footwork crossed up. You can see Brantley off and running. That was fine. The throw. And you see Ramirez ended up trying to take that ball in front, and it was up the line. There was nothing he could do with it, really. 17th stolen base for Michael.
And now Swisher with a chance to drive in a run.
So far in the year, that's the 78th unearned run for the Chicago White Sox this year.
Routine bouncer towards second base. But and Lurie Garcia will throw him out. The inning is over, but the Indians get two with 2 out here in the second, and they take a 2-1 lead. Josh Phegley, Alejandro De Aza, and Lurie Garcia due up for the White Sox. Danny Salazar has given up a couple of hits. Solo homer to Avisaíl Garcia. Phegley batting ninth, the .216 hitter on the year. Swung out and missed. Good fastball once again from Danny Salazar. Phegley in an 0 for 12 slump at the plate. Breaks his bat. Kipnis grabs it, throws it, and got him. That ball, Rick, looked like it was taking forever just to get to Jason Kipnis.
Yeah.
And he still had enough time to pull the trigger.
Got deep in his kitchen, and I think it had a little spin to it after it hits. Got in inside, it broke his bat. And one good thing, it was eye high for Kipnis where he could grab it and just turn it and get rid of it.
So one down here in the third. Turn it over to the top of the order as Alejandro De Aza steps in. Called out on strikes his first time up. Ground to the first. Carlos Santana will take it himself. 2 quick outs.
Well, the video game that puts you in the owner's suite is now available free on iPhone and iPad. Build your stadium and make the decision to guide your team to the World Series. Download MLB Ballpark Empire. It's free today.
With 2 down, Lurie Garcia will be the batter. An infield single, his first time up. Fastball, bullseye.
Remember, this guy can run. That's what happened. He got down the line in a hurry. We heard that in Chicago, Matt.
Yep. Don't have to worry about it this time. He flies to left. The inning is over. 1-2-3 go the White Sox on 7 pitches. 2-1 Cleveland, middle of the third. Just a reminder to stay tuned later in the game for Miller Time, brought to you by Miller Lite. A slow pour. Now the Indians, with a couple of runs home in the second inning, have the lead, and they'll send Jason Kipnis, Carlos Santana, and Yan Gomes to the plate here in the third. Kipnis takes ball one. And that's a little bit high. 2-0.
Well, Axelrod has had his problems this year against the Central Division. In 15 games, 8 of them starts, 1-6 and a 5.14 ERA.
He slings it down low. Ball 4. That's the first walk issued by Axelrod, and the Indians have their leadoff man aboard. Here's our AT&T U-verse rewind. July 31st, Carlos Santana with a walk-off home run against the Chicago White Sox.
That helmet came down right in his tracks.
Well, you know, the new thing they've started this year is the positioning of a couple of snipers right near home plate, and then they fire the water bottle. They squeeze the water bottle as hard as they can. Boy, this is a tailor-made double play if they get the tag down, and they do.
That was well done.
Santana hit it right at Gillespie.
Especially when you have a good runner at first base, you've got to make a good feed and make sure that throw gets to your shortstop. So, good play.
So 2 quick outs now here in the third, and it's time for our trivia question tonight. Brought to you by AT&T. In this ballpark's era, 3 Indians players have 4 or more walk-off home runs. 4 or more walk-off home runs. There are 3 Indians players. Can you name them? We'll have the answer coming up later in the game. Does that include
What?
I'm trying to think of no postseason home runs I can think of, walk-off style.
No, not.
No. Something maybe to look forward to this October.
Be nice. We got to get there first.
Yan Gomes struck out his first time up. Speaking of which, the Rangers host the Astros. That game will be underway in just about 5 minutes. We'll keep you updated. Tampa Bay and New York tied 1-1. They're in the second inning in the Big Apple. The Indians a game back at Tampa for the #1 wild card spot, and they lead Texas by a game for that second wild card position. Now the 1-2. Right back to him. And Axelrod takes care of the Indians here in the third. He only needed 9 pitches to get through the inning. 3 complete, 2-1 Tribe. Indians lead it by a score of 2-1 as we go to the 4th inning. For Chicago, Alexi Ramirez, Connor Gillespie, and Avisaíl Garcia due up against Danny Salazar on a beautiful night here in downtown Cleveland. And we're happy to be joined now by Indians owner Paul Dolan, who obviously is very excited about the way things are going right now. And Paul, welcome in. How are you doing?
I'm doing very well. Those 2 runs in the prior inning helped a lot, too.
You know, Rick and I were talking earlier, when you look at where this team is and how far they've come from a year ago at this particular time, it's pretty amazing. I'm just curious from where you sit, for the guys writing the checks and having to do a lot of the maneuvering behind the scenes, how amazing has it been for you?
Well, amazing, maybe one word. There are all kinds of words to describe the feeling now. It's a dramatic change from where we were last year, and a lot of that credit goes to Terry Francona and the great work he and his staff have done, and Chris in the front office. And 87 wins at this time of year is fantastic.
I mean, did you really expect it? I mean, going into this year, do you think it could turn around as drastically as it did?
I'd like to say yes, but the reality is we knew we had improved the club. We thought we had a 500 club, and if you have a 500 club, that can be a couple games over 500.
Right.
I'm not sure that we can say with honesty that we knew we would be at this particular point at this time at the beginning of the year.
I read your interview with a plain dealer recently, and I thought it was interesting. You said that you were probably in that camp before this year that said, manager's important, but I don't know that he's that important. But watching Terry Francona and the way he's operated this year, you've kind of switched schools of thought.
Yeah, no question. I mean, how many times this year has it looked like we were starting to slide into a losing streak where the season might kind of slide away with it?
Yeah.
And boom, this team turns it around. And that's leadership.
How excited were you last night in that ballgame? I mean, it went from up here to down here to back up again. How exciting was that?
Well, that was a special moment. I think one of the great moments in franchise history.
Yeah, I do too, because that game was about as exciting as you could see.
We don't have a great track record with playoffs, and so to do that in a playoff race is fantastic.
It really is. There you go. You ask and you shall receive. And I mean, this guy's been around, and Terry Francona's been talking all year how much he means to this team. More ways than one in the clubhouse, and for him to come out and get a game-winning home run certainly proves. Look at the hug right there going to Terry. I mean, that couldn't be better for this ball club, especially with 5 games to go now to try and get into the playoff run.
Danny Salazar delivers. Ground ball,
Beautiful.
double play style. Cabrera to Kipnis. Pulled him up. Did he get the tag on, though? No, he did not.
Missed him. He missed him. Had an opportunity. Salazar made his pitch. They get the one and the throw to first base a little wide. Santana tried to apply the tag. You see the throw. Here it comes from Kipnis, and now the tag you'll see. Well, we may not see daylight from this angle, but from our angle behind him, there you'll get to see it. I don't think he got him. Close.
Just missed on that elbow. Might have been on the bag by that time anyway. So 1 on, 1 out for Avisail Garcia, who did the damage in the second with a solo home run to the bleachers.
You're a baseball fan. You love all of baseball. You ever go to Chris and say, hey, I would like to see if we can get this guy if somebody becomes a free agent, or just a player that interests you from watching from afar?
Well, there's a lot of guys that I would love to have, and sort of like a Christmas wish list. But we talk enough that we know who's available and we know what's realistic, and
right.
So that's the kind of dialogue that happens on a free-flowing basis, and usually starts not. Hopefully, it'll start later this year because we'll be focused on other things, but usually starts sometime in October.
Well, I believe in baseball gods, and I think the gods are with us this year, at least to this point, and hopefully they stay with us the rest of the year.
Well, we had one of our miracles last night, so we're
yeah. Well, people don't realize it. Matt and I had talked about this, too, on Michael Brantley's hitting that inning to get it going. If you saw it hit the lip of the grass and it bounced over the second baseman's glove, all right, there's the start to the inning. And then Michael Bourne came out of the game because he hurt his wrist, and now Giambi gets a chance to pinch it. It was just strange how everything happened and the whole thing came about.
And more of those kind of things are happening, but it makes you start to believe.
Well, it really does. And that's the one thing I think this town needs more so than it is the belief that you can do it, and the confidence, the camaraderie, and the chemistry that needs to take place throughout the course of a year.
And we're seeing that day in and day out now.
Yeah, we really are.
Yeah.
This was the play you're talking about from last night.
Yeah, I mean, I saw this and I said, oh, my goodness, that's perfect, because he was in place. Beckham was right there to make that play, and that ball jumps up over his glove. There's a good start. Sure, you have to finish it off, but, I mean, I can see a total attitude change in this clubhouse and in this team.
And then Brantley went out and got second.
Yeah.
That may have changed how they pitched him.
Yeah, Jason was saying that, he was thinking just a base hit here ties the game. And he got a ball in that he could pull, and he didn't miss it. Garcia shoots one out of play.
That's the amazing thing about baseball. When you just think little or just think small or just think let's keep it going, good things seem to happen from time to time.
Paul, is there any way to quantify what a win last night, what a win like last night does for a fan base? I mean, obviously, people storm the gates here tonight. Getting a lot of fans in here.
That's how I was thinking of answering your question, just looking around here. We have a playoff-like crowd here. We have over 30,000 people here, and there's an electric atmosphere. And I think there's a direct correlation to last night and with the feeling of the ballpark tonight.
Unfortunately, we don't have 40 more games to go. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. That's like, come on, this is our last home game.
Well,
what happened in June?
Let's hope that we have 10 or more games.
No, exactly. That's true. You want that. Oh, I hope that.
When Chris Antonetti came to you in the offseason at the end of last season because you moved quickly. No grass grew under this organization's feet when they dropped the flag at the end of the season. You guys got into it quickly. But when he came to you with that plan, how plausible did you think the plan was to get Terry Francona to go after certain free agents, to get all the pieces to fall into place the way they did?
Well, to get Terry, it would seem very plausible because of his relationship to Chris and Mark and to the organization. So there was some comfort level that we would get him, and we got him early. After that, our experience has been, even when we were prepared to spend, we couldn't get people to come. So combination of things happening in the marketplace, Swisher's connection to Ohio and desire to be in Cleveland made a difference.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, further dynamics in the marketplace made Michael Bourne, who we looked at the beginning of the offseason, we'd love to have him, but no way he's coming our way.
Can't afford him.
Yeah.
Right.
All of a sudden, there he is for the getting, and we had something.
Well, it was an aggressive offseason, not only through free agency, but the trading of Shin Soo Choo that went a roundabout way to you net a number of players. Drew Stubbs, you get some bullpen pitchers.
And the biggest deal of all may very well have been the Gomes and Aviles deal. I mean,
that certainly has been a nice deal here.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But, all teams, and not just Cleveland, whether it's a small market or not, this guy standing in the middle of the diamond right now, what a surprise he's been. That's how we have to bring up from within your own people, right?
No
Draft,
question.
develop, and follow, and do it the right way.
That has to be the foundation of our franchise, and so maybe the biggest thing this year is the development of a guy like Salazar.
Yeah, to see an arm like that who's got a chance to be a #1 starter or one of the best pitchers in the game with his stuff. Now, if everything goes right, this is great to see because I love watching this kid pitch every night.
This is where I'm sure it's difficult at times to separate yourself from fan and owner because obviously, they were been very careful with him pitch count wise. Now they said the training wheels are off, the leash is off. Terry Francona said he's out there free and easy, and he'll pitch as long as he needs to pitch, and he's pitching well here tonight. We'll continue with Paul Dolan right after this. The Indians lead it 2-1, middle of the fourth. And Lonnie Chisenhall due up here for the Tribe. The Indians chasing a date with October. Who and when and where yet to be determined, as Rick has said, and he's kept me in my seat by saying you got to get there first.
Get there first. Hey, we still have 5 games. You win this with just one. And that, to me, is what Francona does so well. He keeps you focused on that day's schedule, doesn't let you get ahead of yourself, and there's no reason to because this game can slip away in a heartbeat.
I caught myself getting
A
ahead
lot
of
of people
myself.
can. Yeah, I mean, and it's easy to do.
Yeah.
But, I mean, to get to that 162, I can't wait till Sunday we get there, and hopefully you know by then that we're going to be there. Are you
How
gonna,
about Saturday?
Saturday would be
perfect.
No, well, I'll take Friday. How's that?
Friday. You're done. There.
Cabrera sends one high down the line, and that's going to hook into the seats out of play.
Good. That didn't have
for
the
a long
distance.
strike. Paul, will you go to Minnesota?
Yeah.
Will you go with the
Yeah,
club?
that's what I was going to
I'm
ask.
going to go up when, on the day that we have a game where we can clinch by any combination of us winning or somebody losing. I'll be up there to make sure I'm there at the game.
But it is nice. They battled, and they've had such a great September to come in here, and destiny is in their own hands where they have to just go out and take care of themselves. They don't have to scoreboard watch.
But over the years, we've learned that you can have those games in front of you, but you got to win them. And even if you think it's obvious you will win, you don't.
Yeah, the minute you think, and that's why when people kept throwing it out, hey, you got the easiest schedule. That's the scary thing to me because the spoilers, I played on teams that were spoilers, and the only thing you look forward to is playing the teams that are good that you can knock them out. That's the only thing you can do to them. And the pressure's really on the team that's up there because they have to win.
Although I wouldn't mind if Houston came back.
Well, me either. Well, they're in Texas right now, who's a game behind us, and they're trying to catch us.
They gave Texas a good game last night.
Yes, they did. They gave us 2 good games
here.
They
did.
Thursday and Friday, so you just really never know.
Paul, has there been a moment this year for you? Was there a time? Might have been spring training. I know for me, I knew things were going to be different just by the way I observed what was going on in spring training, the atmosphere, the attitude. Was there a moment for you where you said, we're going in the right direction regardless of where this ends up?
Well, I would agree with you on spring training. I literally arrived the day they were doing that Harlem Shake thing.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, literally, that's the first time I saw this team was in costume. And I kind of text back to family and friends. It's a little different this year.
Yes, it was. Yeah, that went on video, and that made a big hit.
One down here in the home half of the fourth. And up comes Jason Giambi. How often do you get a chance to interact with the players?
A little bit, not a whole lot, just a little bit. I mean, it's a fun bunch.
Yeah, I mean, and just listen to the ovation for Jason Giambi, who's played his whole career elsewhere in the twilight of what I think is a Hall of Fame career. And I think the role that he has played, and I think the way Terry Francona has talked about him through the media, I think fans have caught on that this guy's something special.
Yeah, he is. He loves the game. You know, he's a winner, and he wants to pass it on because he's been fortunate enough to play as long as he has. He wants to share it, and he is a true team person. That's just his style.
Axelrod's 1-0 pitch. Giambi smokes one deep right field. Garcia on the move. Makes a fine running catch for out number 2.
I'll tell you what, 42, and he still has bat speed like that. He doesn't have to cheat to get the bat around. He still swings it with authority.
Up comes Alani Chisenhall, who scored the Indians' first run in the second inning. He'll bat with 2 down and the bases empty here in the fourth inning. A crowd like tonight, a crowd like we saw over the weekend, the energy and the excitement that you're probably seeing in the community, it hasn't registered necessarily at the gate yet, but do you feel like next year we'll see bigger numbers in the ballpark?
I think so. I think people, because this team will largely come back, and I think people now are embracing it. They know it.
There's a sky-high pop on the infield. Ramirez will settle under it, and the Tribe goes 1-2-3. Paul, thanks so much for your time. Good to see you.
Glad to be here. Hope to see a lot of you next month.
I
Good luck.
appreciate
We'll see you
that.
Friday.
Absolutely. Yes,
Friday.
indeed. is brought to you by the wireless receiver only from AT&T Uverse. Rethink possible. And by your local Toyota dealers. Toyota, let's go places. 2-1 Indians on top as we go to the 5th inning. While we were on with Paul Dolan, we were talking about all the walk-offs here at Progressive Field over the years. Got a few texts. How could we have forgotten the first ever postseason game here?
Well, yeah, to get us there.
That was a walk-off, yeah.
3-0 pitch.
Tony Pena.
Well, there's not many things going on tonight, so our minds, we can't sit and think about it. There's been a lot going on the last home game, and but we appreciate it. They texted you, thank God.
Well, Zap.
Oh, was it?
The first one on the board.
Figures. You haven't listened to us all year, and you're going to start tonight.
Here's a ball hit the other way, over near the line. Brantley cuts it off. Here comes the throw, and Dank slams on the brakes.
Yeah, Mr. Accurate. He's made that play plenty of times this year. Get over, and a left-hander that can get to the line, stop, plant, and throw is really fun to watch. I played with a couple of them, and he's very accurate, and that arm is right there, and he's thrown out a number of guys at second base on that play right there, thinking they could get two.
Slider just missed outside corner. Popped him in the air, right field. In comes Nick Swisher. And he's got it for out number 1.
Well, we were wondering when Danny was going to come back. That was a changeup for the first strikeout. Then there's a slider going down, it looked like. Another great changeup. Look at the movement. I mean, that ball has so much movement down. So, 5 punch-out, that was all changeups. And, boy, we saw in his first start, he has an electric changeup when it's on. It just hasn't been there, for every start.
Mickey Callaway really felt like with Danny Salazar, when he knew he was going out there with a pitch limit, it weighed on his mind.
When he'd get 0-2, because he does throw strikes, a lot of them.
He was looking at the pitch count board, looking at how many pitches he had, and felt like it might have altered the way he was attacking the hitters.
Well, it can. When you know you're on a pitch count, you go out there and try and strike them out as opposed to let's set up another pitch. And, you may only be out there for 4 innings, and he was anyway because there were a lot of foul balls hit off him at times. This is a guy, when he gets an opportunity and they can take the leash off and let him go a little bit, it'll be fun to watch because that's when he's really going to learn. He has electric stuff. He's got a great arm. You see, we see a lot of great young pitchers. This guy can be one of them if everything, if he grows up, he learns, and he stays healthy.
Swing and a miss. It's 0-2. It's not a fair comparison. But we just had Jarrett Wright with us recently, and that's what made me think of it. Jarrett Wright came up in that 97 season, a young kid that not a lot of the league had ever seen before. He had the explosive fastball, and you saw how they rode him in the postseason all the way to the end of October. And who knows, maybe Danny Salazar could play a similar role this year.
I don't see why not. One thing, too, going through it, teams have never faced him before, so they don't have a track record on him. He can go through, and his stuff is great enough that he can throw it by anybody at any time until they get an idea of how he likes to pitch. But he seems like he's got a cool demeanor out there on the mound. You know what I mean? He doesn't seem to get ruffled if he has problems or gets into a situation.
That's the other thing that made me think of Jarrett Wright. When we had Jarrett on, he talked about that October in 97, about how it wasn't a big deal to him because he was
no
so young.
clue.
He was sort of oblivious to all of it.
Yeah, he had no clue. He said, I didn't know. You're 20 years old. What difference do you know? You just go out there and pitch. It's something that has come easy your whole life.
The set by Salazar, and the 2-strike pitch is fouled away. Yeah, I suppose the more years you have in the game, the more elusive that ring becomes, and the more you realize how hard it is to get there, and how
you start appreciating how tough it is to stay in the game year after year. You have to improve every year. You have to continue to learn. I don't care if you've been in the game 10 years, you can still learn something in the ball game. The minute you think you got it figured out is the minute you're in trouble.
Begley keeps fighting off pitches here.
Well, guarantee all Indians postseason ticket priority with a deposit on 2014 tickets. Visit Indians.com/playoff payoff or call 216-420-HITS. Operators are standing by.
Now the set by Salazar. He deals. Swung out and missed. He went up the ladder and at 97 miles an hour. Begley had no chance. 7 strikeouts for Salazar. 2 down here in the 5th. And we'll go back to the Hyundai Studios for our first in-game update tonight with Al Pawlowski.
Hey, Matt, Rick, let's go to New York. Rays taking on the Yankees here, and this game was tied at 1 when David DeJesus breaks the tie with a single to left field. That put the Rays ahead 2-1. It's now 3-2 Rays. They're in the top of the 4th inning in New York. Matt?
All right, thanks, Al. There you look at the standings. Tampa Bay, 1 game in front of Cleveland for the top wild card spot. The Indians a game in front of Texas for the number 2 wild card position. A little bit outside, 1-0. After Tampa Bay finishes up their series with New York, they then head to Toronto to finish out their regular season. And Texas will entertain the Angels to wrap up their season in Arlington. A little bit low, 2-0. Houston, Texas, scoreless. Rangers batting bottom of the 2nd. Piazza called out on strikes in the 1st inning. He grounded out to first base back in the 3rd. Salazar with a quick throw over to first, but Santana keeping a close eye on Danks, who hasn't really showed any inclination that he's going to be taken off. Now the 2-0, up and away. 3 balls, no strikes. Lurie, Garcia waiting on deck. Salazar has not walked a batter tonight, but he's in a 3-0 situation here with Piazza. Foul right back.
How about that? 3-0 green light, and why not? When you have the stuff of Salazar, the manager's saying, go ahead. You're going to get a fastball here. If you get the one you like, get after it. He did and fouled it off. Got to send out a birthday wish, too, to Bill Gregg. Friend of ours, happy birthday, Bill, sitting at home taking in the ball game tonight.
Going with the fastball away. Up and away, it's ball 4. First walk for Salazar. Piazza down to first, pushes Danks into scoring position. And Mickey Callaway, the Indians pitching coach, going to go out for a brief chat here. You know, you look at it in this way. With Diaz at the plate, once he fell behind him, I'm not saying that he still couldn't just challenge him with a fastball and get him out, but we've seen Diaz. He's got some pretty decent pop. He's hit 17 home runs this year, and you've got the young Lurie Garcia waiting on deck. If I'm Salazar, I'm probably going to make the guy on deck beat me before I challenge Diaz.
Yeah, he didn't really want to walk him, but he wasn't going to give in to him, and just throw one right down there. He maybe tried to throw something up he couldn't catch up to. That's fine. Come right back, and that's what Callaway's telling him. All right, no big deal. Regroup, get yourself together, and get back in the strike zone.
Indians with a 2-1 lead.
When you get into situations, you're in September and there's new players playing, you do look at hitters in that lineup that can do a little more damage than other ones, and you pick and choose who you want to go after or be aggressive to.
Garcia came from Texas, part of the Alex Rios trade. And a fastball in there for strike one. Comes back with another slider. Thought that first one was a fastball, but at 87, it was obviously a slider, and he doubled up to get to 0-2. And listen to this crowd. They're trying to get into it every opportunity they have here tonight. And with 2 on, 2 out, 0-2 count. Up and away.
Yeah, settle down. Gomes looked out and says, relax. You tried to overthrow that pitch. And sometimes that can happen when you have a fastball in the mid-90s. You want to throw it 100. But what happens, you lose command of it when you're not free and easy, and you just try and hump up.
Garcia just threw his bat at it and got a piece.
That's a good job to stay alive. I mean, a changeup. It's going to be away. I mean, to even foul that ball off, that ball was about a foot outside. That's a tremendous job to stay alive.
He had Garcia out on his front foot in his first at bat, and he hit a weak ground ball to second, but he was able to beat it out for an infield hit. He's got good speed. And he fouled that right off of his own foot. And the count remains 1-2.
Well, he'll get a minute, and we'll see him fall it off his foot to stay alive. Again, oh, that went off the body.
Wow. Punched himself in the stomach.
You're just trying to hit that ball and put it in play.
Crowd wants another punch out. Salazar takes aim. Up high, and he lays off 2-2. Been very efficient up until this fifth inning, and really up until the 5-pitch walk to De Aza, he was looking pretty good. But the walk to De Aza, now a 2-2 count for Garcia with 2 men on base. Swing and a miss. He struck him out. 8 strikeouts for Salazar. Chicago strands a pair. It remains 2-1 Cleveland. 2-1, Tribe on top. Bottom of the 5th inning, Drew Stubbs to lead it off. Stubb reached on an error and scored the go-ahead run back in the 2nd. Chopped to short. Ramirez throws him out by about a half a step. Our in-game recap brought to you by your local Toyota dealers. Avisail Garcia, with his 7th home run of the year, gave Chicago a 1-0 lead in the top of the 2nd. But in the bottom of the 2nd, Indians come right back. Lonnie Chisenhall scores on the ball that Drew Stubbs hit. And then Michael Brantley with a 2-out RBI single made it 2-1 Indians. And that is where we stand here with 1 out in the home half of the 5th, and Michael Brantley coming to the plate. Down low.
So you look, Brantley, in his last 4 at-bats, he's 4 for 4. 2 hits in last night's game, the 7th, the 9th, and now the 1st and the 2nd today.
Well, we showed the numbers earlier during his hitting streak. He is now 16 for 32. And I'm no math major, but that's 5 hundo. There's a fly ball deep right field. Garcia back on the track. It's over his head. It'll short hop the wall. And Brantley's into second base. And he's a perfect 3 for 3 on the night.
He is red hot, man. That is the first extra base hit for the Indians tonight. And I mean, you know, Michael went up the middle the first 2 times. And now he gets a pitch to his liking. And he is seeing it so well. You want to run it in there, but they didn't get it inside. So that he gave him swinging room, and Michael just put a nice, easy swing on it, and it jumped over the head of Garcia. So for Michael, his 26th double. Chance to add on now.
How about Brantley? He's hit in 5 consecutive trips to the plate.
Yeah.
And up comes Nick Swisher, who's trying to shake off an 0 for 12. Takes a strike. You know, it's funny how this game has its ebbs and flows. I mean, it seemed like it was just 2 days ago. Nick was batting .300 here in the month of September. He's hit 5 homers and he's driven in 13. But all of a sudden you look up and 0 for his last 12, but he's hit some balls hard. Last night he was trying to hit it into the wind and it didn't have any luck.
Well, his fault was he was using the big part of the field when he hit those bullets. I mean, he hit 2 balls a ton that, you know, on a different day might have been out of here, but the wind just knocked him down. He says, no, not tonight.
Upstairs with the 2 balls and a strike. In the air, deep center field. Danks back on the track. He's out of room. It's out of here. Nick Swisher, you go ahead and spit into the wind. A 2-run homer here in the 5th makes it 4-1 Cleveland.
I'll tell you what, he didn't mess with it tonight. I mean, I think as soon as it left the bat, he knew. And, you know, you feel it. I mean, he challenged it straight away center, out over the plate. Look at, he knows it right now. Taking a look, it'll get out of here. It is into their bullpen. And look at everybody out there. They're happy. That's a 2-run shot. That makes it a 4-1 game. 21 homers for Swisher.
Now Jason Kipnis takes the ball down low. Yeah, he has put up some big numbers against the White Sox this year, helping the Indians.
Seems like everybody has against those guys.
13 straight wins over Chicago coming into tonight. Pulled foul by Kipnis. The 13 straight wins, of course, against Chicago, a franchise record for the Indians. If they win tonight, it would be the Indians' longest win streak against an opponent since they beat the Kansas City Athletics 14 straight times back in 1960.
Wow. Well, yeah, I mean, it's happened a number of times here where we've had to go back into the record books for a number of different categories throughout the year.
Well, how about Jason Giambi, the oldest player to hit a walk-off home run? Just a little older than Hank Aaron. Well, that's a record that stood around a long time.
Yeah.
And now he's done it twice.
Well, you go back to 61 with the 6 4-game sweeps during the course of a year.
Did not go around. Plus, you know, in years past when the Indians have played Chicago, especially in U.S. Cellular Field, home runs are a big part of the series when these two get together. And the Indians about homered them this year, 25-13. Popped up, foul near the dugout. Looks like it's in play. Oh, he lost sight of it. Fegley just lost sight of where he was.
Kipnis was walking back to the dugout. He said it's in play. And I don't know what happened to him over there. He was heading back to the dugout, figuring he's going to catch it. They catch a break. You know, that wind is blowing in, so he peeked. Well, he just thought he was too close to the screen, I guess. I don't know what else, unless he looked back up and didn't see it.
Maybe he lost track of the ball, right? I don't know. Well, it's a break for Kipnis if he can take advantage of it. 3-2 pitch. Hard ground ball to first. Kicks off the chest of Gillespie, but Axelrod there to cover. 2 down. First walk-off of the year for the Indians. It was Nick Swisher against who else? The Chicago White Sox. You knew it was early in the year. They got the hoods on. It was still cold back then.
It looks like the bobsled team.
The Cleveland bobsled team. I like it. And that's the thing. And we talked about it yesterday. The Indians against Chicago this year is dominating, as the record has been, 9 times. These games have been 1 run or less.
That's amazing.
The Indians winning 8 of them, right, Tommy?
7 of the 8. Well, I'll tell you, they've been a lot of close ones. Even though you look at those numbers, the total runs, and it seems like the Indians take the lead, and then they add on when they have to.
Carlos Santana singles to center field with 2 down to keep the inning alive. And it will bring up Yan Gomes. Yan Gomes had a hand in one of the Indians' 11 walk-off wins this year. Remember this one against Seattle.
That was a 4-game sweep.
And those were all close games.
Those were all 3 walk-offs in that series as well, if I'm right.
3 of the 4, yes, indeed, walk-off wins for the Indians. Ground to short. Ramirez with the flip to second. The inning is over. But Nick Swisher with the big bat drives it to deep center field, and the Indians lead it 4-1. Right now on FoxSportsOhio.com, all of the Indians' postseason scenarios are broken down for you, and there are many of them. Can Brian Hoyer keep it rolling in his second start for the Cleveland Browns? And Talking Cavs returns with Sam Amico. Complete coverage of all today's action involving Ohio sports on FoxSportsOhio.com. I haven't checked the website, but I wonder if they've even have the potential of a three-way tie broken down. The potential scenarios are mind-numbing when you really start thinking about the potential of what could happen. Say if the Indians, the Rays, and the Rangers all were to end up with identical records.
I don't even want to think about it. Don't go there.
Stop, right?
I'll have a headache. Talk to someone else, please.
I already have a headache.
Tommy, come over here and put the headset on, will you?
Alexi Ramirez tried to hold up, but he went around. 1-1 to count. But you know what, Rick? This is what baseball wanted when they added
that's
that
why it was
second
designed.
wild card.
Absolutely, you give a number of other teams the opportunity. It's not going to work out that way in the National League because 3 of the teams, I think, for the first time, will ever come out of the same division.
Yeah, and they're all set. I mean, it's over. They're all in. It's just a matter of who goes where.
Right.
St. Louis started the night with a 2-game lead in the division.
But when we had, 5 teams or 6 teams within 3.5 games there for a couple of weeks, makes it a lot of fun, a lot of scoreboard watching for a lot of different people.
1 ball, 2 strikes. Yan Gomes goes out for a brief chat with Danny Salazar. You saw Brian Shaw warming in the bullpen. Salazar's at 80 pitches. And it may not be so much the pitch count as that he had to work pretty hard to get through that 5th inning. Hit on the ground to first base. Big hop. Santana's there. He's got it. Quick throw to first. And Salazar couldn't get the ball. And did he get run into or
he might have
stepped
stepped on his foot. Might have stepped on his foot because he had to shuffle that ball behind after he made the catch. And I think his footwork got tangled or he wasn't in, and he must have cleated him. Though I'm sure he'll be done now, just in case. He's limping a little bit looking down, but he probably got cleated.
The question is, was it on the foot? Was it on the ankle? Where did he get spiked? Looks like it's right on the foot.
I don't think he twisted anything. I think he just got stepped on. Gets the bag. He doesn't have the ball, and there comes a spike right on his toe.
Ouch, right on the pinky toe.
Yeah, on the last couple of toes. And that got him, and that's that front cleat there. I'm sure he'll go, and they'll get, he's going to go see if he can throw. I wouldn't be surprised to just see him go over there because Shaw's up throwing intensely now. I wouldn't be surprised. Just go check it out and see what's going on.
It's his push-off foot that the one that got spiked, so they're just checking. He says he's all right.
Well, a lot of people are going to say they're okay. They want to stay in the game. That's the nature of an athlete. I don't want to come out. You see the backhanded flip. Watch how Santana throws it to him. You couldn't see it. And he had to get there and find the base at the same time. You know what I mean? If he had a little air underneath it, he would have been much better off. But he had to shovel it, and it was more of a line drive throw instead of leading him to the base. And that's what happened, trying to catch the ball, the base runner getting there at the same time. He's going to stay in the game. It'll go as a base hit.
Down to the dirt.
So far tonight, Chicago 0 for 8 when they have a man on base. Their run came back in the 2nd inning, a solo home run by Avisail Garcia.
Swing and a miss. Boy, that was a sharp slider right down out of the strike zone.
Look at this. Straight down. And it goes out of it looks like a strike getting up there, but by the time it gets into the hitting area, it is a ball.
Two balls and a strike. Connor Gillespie 0 for 2. Lines one toward left field. And Michael Brantley makes the catch. Back to first goes Ramirez. One away.
Well, take a break from the Cleveland winter, and you can spend it out in Arizona with the Indians. You can choose from 3 great packages. Call 1-855-298-5444.
Avisail Garcia homered in the second, struck out in the fourth. What a pick by Yan Gomes right there.
We get some birthday wishes in here. Ginny Police of Cleveland is turning 100 today.
Wow.
Dorothy Schneider is 90. Joe Pusateri of Alliance is 83. Cal Arnold is 10. And Inga Feringer. Your birthday today. Happy birthday to each and every one.
You were all over the spectrum there, from 100 down to 10.
Absolutely. And we had one that we didn't even throw in, the age. So we don't know.
Well,
that's a floater.
That's for them to know and us to find out. Alexei Ramirez at first base with one out here in the sixth inning. Tribe leading at 4-1. Danny Salazar delivers a foul back by Garcia. Out of play, down the right side. And a count of ball and 2 strikes. Ramirez 30 steals on the year. Held at first by Santana. Grounded to third. It's by Chisenhall and in the left field. A base hit for Garcia. His second hit of the night.
Well, he got his ground ball, but he didn't hit it at anybody. He found the hole. If it's at Chisenhall, they turn the double play. He couldn't get it, so it goes as a base hit. And I think Salazar's night will be over. He'll be heading to the showers as Francona takes the walk to the mound.
Well, Danny Salazar, 5 1/3 innings tonight. 1 run on 6 hits. He'll be responsible for the 2 men on base. But a fine performance in the final home game of the regular season from the right-handed rookie. Today's Cleveland Clinic call. Indians with a 4-1 lead as we go to the 6th. And with 2 on and 1 out, Brian Shaw is on for the Indians. He'll be facing Dayan Viciedo, who is 0 for 2, struck out twice against Danny Salazar. Shaw's 69th appearance of the year. Swing and a miss. You know, the thing I've been noticing, too, with Terry Francona, Rick, because he's got the additional players here in the month of September, a lot of these bullpen guys who have high number of appearances, they're still getting their work, but it's for shorter stints.
Yeah.
You know, maybe it's 1 batter or 2 batters instead of having to pitch a guy an entire inning. Some guys are still doing that. Joe Smith last night worked the 8th inning. But, you know, some of the other guys, he's able to get him in and get him out.
He can match him up for a hitter or 2 that they need. A true matchup when you have that many pitchers out there, yeah.
That bullpen still cranking for the Indians. 0-2 count on Viciedo with 1 out here in the 6th inning. Just missed outside, not by much. Viciedo lays off a high heater. See the left-hander Hill, the right-hander Cody Allen. We could very well see Rich Hill coming on to face Jordan Danks, who's next. Left-handed hitter. Viciedo lines it into left field. That's a base hit. Coming around third, they're going to wave Ramirez home. Here's the throw. It's offline. And the runners are hung up. They'll throw it down to third. They'll run Garcia back towards second. Kipnis.
That's a bad play there.
They better hurry. Oh, my goodness. They don't get anybody out.
That is a bad rundown. They had the opportunity because Viciedo, who hit the ball, gets the RBI, but he overran Garcia at second base. You know, he was forced. He was going to go back, and he couldn't do it. Then he sees Viciedo coming. Now he gets in the rundown. They run him all the way back here. Well, right there, Chisenhall's either got to give it up or look back to first base when he was going back, and nobody was there. So a botched up rundown keeps the inning going. It's a 4-2 game. They still have runners at first and second, and there's still just 1 out.
Jordan Danks is 1 for 2 on the night. And the White Sox have cut the lead in half. And they still have 2 on and only 1 out. Missed inside. Danks a big swing and a miss. Got him looking outside corner. Oh, did he paint that perfectly? 2 down here in the inning.
There you go. Backdoor slider right over the outside edge. Perfect pitch for Shaw. Look at the spin coming in, and I mean, he couldn't have placed it any better. The left-hander gives up on it, catches the outside corner. He gets the second out.
So with 2 down in the inning, Marcus Semien will be the batter. He is 0 for 2 on the night. Slider in the dirt. Good blocked by Gomes. Evens the count 1-1. Houston leads Texas 3-1. They're in the fourth in Arlington. Tampa Bay still leads New York 3-2. They're in the sixth at Yankee Stadium. Swung on and missed. 1 ball, 2 strikes the count here on Marcus Semien. And again, this crowd comes to life here with 2 down in the inning. And 2 strikes on Marcus Semien. Did he go? Did he? Yes, he did! The inning is over as Brian Shaw comes out of the bullpen and slams it down. White Sox get on the board. Here in the sixth, it's a 4-2 Indians lead. Just 2 days, but you can continue to watch Fox Sports every night over on Fox Sports 1. That's Fox Sports Live every night on Fox Sports 1. Dylan Axelrod a little bounce in his step after the Sox got him a run back. Indians still lead at 4-2. And as Drupal Cabrera 0 for 2 on the night will lead off the bottom of the sixth.
Well, they answered the Indians' 2-run inning in the bottom half. But the Indians were able to do that to them back in the second inning.
And Cabrera starts the inning off with an opposite field single. He just reached out and poked it into left field.
Well, that's...
How about July 26th? Another one of the Indians' 11 walk-off wins this year. It was Ryan Rayburn getting a hand. As the Indians took down Texas on that night.
You know, in the first 2 times that Axelrod pitched against the Indians this year, there were starts. He went 6 innings both times. First time, 3 hits and 1 run. Second time, 5 hits and 3 runs. Well, the Indians now have 8 hits and 4 runs, and he has only pitched 5 to this point.
Jason Giambi looks at a strike. A little bit outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. The 1-1. And Giambi pops it back out of play. Count a ball and 2 strikes. With Cabrera, the leadoff man, aboard at first. Dylan Axelrod, just over 80 pitches on the night, delivers down on the dirt, gets away, and down to second base. Alertly goes Asdrubal Cabrera on the wild pitch.
Second one tonight. Matter of fact, Giambi, they had one, and he took off as soon as this ball was in the dirt. You can afford to do that when you're up a couple of runs, and that catcher's forced. If he doesn't keep it right in front of himself, you're going to be able to get there, and he ended up cruising in. Nothing he could do because Fegley, that ball just ricocheted too far out away from him. So a runner in scoring position. Giambi's going to try and pull this ball. I know he's down to 2 strikes.
Time called here as Giambi steps away. He's asking the umpire if he'll move from the shortstop side of second base over to the second base side of the bag. So the umpire, Dan Bellino, obliges and moves over. And it's outside a full count. Indians up 4-2, but looking to add to it here in the 6th inning. Three-two pitch. High and deep and foul. Oh, did he hit that one a ton.
You don't sneak it by him in there a whole lot of times. Most people come to the game and they figure, I'm so far out of play, there's no chance I'm going to get a foul ball. Well, you know what? They're walking home with one. Unbelievable. High and deep and pulled.
Almost looked like it was above the roof line. Again to 3-2. Ball 4. He missed just inside. And now the Indians have 2 on with nobody out. And we'll go back to the Hyundai Studios right now for an in-game update with Al Pawlowski.
Matt, good news in Arlington, Texas. The Houston Astros have broken a 1-1 tie here in the top of the 4th inning. It's Laird, Brandon Laird, 2-run homer. See ya. His 5th of the year, 3-1. Houston leads Texas. They're now in the bottom of the 4th in Arlington, Matt.
A nice hand for Jason Giambi as he leaves the ball game. Michael Bourne coming on to pinch run. Mentioned earlier that Bourne out tonight with that jammed right wrist, but available to be a pinch runner, and certainly that's where he is tonight. And if you missed it earlier, Katie had a report, told us that Michael wanted to be in the lineup tonight. He tried to politic his way in with Terry Francona, but Terry's saying, look, it's still too valuable to us the rest of the way to take a chance right now. So that's why he's limited tonight anyway to just pinch running. Mike Avila's going to pinch hit for Lonnie Chisenhall. So he'll bat here in the 6th with 2 on and nobody out. And the White Sox pinching in looking for a bunt. Avila squares, bunts it foul.
thinking that's why he might have pinch hit Aviles here with Chisenhall due up, a lefty against the right-handed pitchers. They want to move him over in a bunt situation, and you know he feels that Lonnie may not be able to get the job done, or he wouldn't be pinch hit. So now the pressure on Aviles.
Again, they pinch at the corners. Aviles squares early. And Axelrod just turned back towards second base, but no play there. And Axelrod ready. He deals. Aviles bunts it toward third. Semien will go to first. And the sacrifice well executed by Aviles. And the Indians have runners at second and third now with one out.
Yeah, well done. Make the third baseman field it.
Drew Stubbs also had a hand in a couple of Indians walk-off wins. This one, swinging the bat, doubled off the wall, scored Aviles. And before our night is over, we might see another one of the walk-offs he was involved in.
Right now, infield in. They're going to try and cut the run off at the plate.
Drew has hit the ball on the ground twice tonight. Right now, he's just looking to find a hole in that infield to bang it through. Down in the dirt, ball one. Texas has come right back to take a 4-3 lead over Houston. They're in the bottom of the fourth in Arlington. Leonis Martin, a 3-run double, bases clearing double for the Rangers. 1-0 pitch. Stubbs fouls it right back.
Had a pretty good pitch to hit.
Jason Kipnis ground ball to first. Drew Stubbs comes home, and he beats the tag for another one of the Indians' walk-off wins this year. That was not your typical walk-off win.
No, it was not. Fielder's choice.
There's a liner to center field right at Danks. He'll make the catch. Tagging at third. Coming home to score is Drupal Cabrera. And the Indians get the run back. And they're up 5-2. Stubbs with RBI number 43 on the year.
Good at bat by Drew Stubbs. They come back. They answer that run that Chicago put on the board. And Axelrod's night is over.
Well, with the left-handed hitting Michael Brantley coming up, he's already 3 for 3 off Axelrod tonight. Robin Ventura figures, I don't want to see that anymore, or the Indians could put this thing away in a hurry. So today's Cleveland Clinic call to the bullpen for the Chicago White Sox. Charlie Leisman is coming on when we come back. question tonight.
Why not?
Wish I could remember what the question was.
I know.
Oh, 3 Indians players during this ballpark's era have 4 or more walk-off home runs.
Well, what? Albert?
Tommy got to be in there?
Yeah.
Maybe Manny?
Well, you would think Manny, but
Casey Blake.
How about Tommy 9, Albert 6, and Casey Blake in there? A name you wouldn't think that would sneak in there, would you?
And Albert did that in 3 seasons here.
Well, I can't believe Manny didn't do it. I remember the one he hit off Ekir. And he hit one off the Red Sox, but no, he didn't have, what was it, 4?
Yeah.
They had? Yeah.
Here's Charlie Leesman.
He had an outing in Chicago against the Indians he would certainly like to forget. He faced 7 hitters and didn't retire a batter.
Spun him out of the way, almost hit Michael Brantley. Jim Thome with 9 career walk-off home runs.
Sandy's in there. Pronk, Manny, Carlos, and Omar.
How about
Vizquel.
Omar?
Yeah, I remember he hit one off of Detroit. I think it was a grand slam off of
Todd.
Yeah, they're closer.
Todd Jones.
Very
Brantley
good.
fouls it out of play. Up high with it. Well, Evan Longoria with a big 3-run homer for Tampa Bay as they've opened up a 7-2 lead over the Yankees in the 6th inning in New York. A little bit low. 3 balls and a strike. Hit on the ground to first base. Hit the lip of the grass and stayed down. Gillespie goes to the bag himself to end the inning. But the Indians add to their lead. The sac fly gets it done. Panini's with 18 locations in Northeast Ohio. And by Levin. Beautiful night for the final home game of the regular season. And a big crowd enjoying it tonight here at Progressive Field as you look in from our Panini cam, brought to you by Panini's Bar and Grill. Mike Avila stays in the game for the Tribe at third base. And Brian Shaw, who got the final 2 outs of the 6th inning, stays on to work here in the 7th. Interesting, because we were just talking about how Terry Francona has managed the bullpen with a lot of matchup work. So guys are getting appearances, but not necessarily lengthy ones. And here is Brian Shaw, who is now facing his 4th batter of the inning. But
he's getting a lengthy one tonight.
He's pitching well. And sometimes you ride the hot hand, too. Good slider in there for a strike. Swung on and missed. He chased one that time. But that slider's been a good pitch tonight for Brian Shaw, and he has struck out 3 straight Sox hitters. And that's going to be it for Shaw. So he does a good job. And Terry Francona will go back to his bullpen. We'll see who the door opens for. It'll be the left-hander Rich Hill to face the left-handed hitting Alejandro De Aza when we come back. And look ahead to the Browns' next home game against the Bengals. Sunday's strategy tonight after Indians Live, right here on Sports Time Ohio. Here is left-hander Rich Hill. On for the 62nd time this year. He'll be facing Alejandro De Aza, who is 0 for 2 with a walk. Base is empty.
Well, so far in the day, though, when you look at it, Chicago has swung and missed. Swings and misses 23 times to the Indians 4 times throughout this game.
Up high with a fastball. The more I think about that, the less surprised I am, because if you've got Danny Salazar pitching, you expect a lot of swings and misses.
Well, that is true. And Shaw, he had 3 strikeouts in his relief appearance. But you're right. You get a lot of swings and misses.
Well, Rich Hill has fallen behind Diaza 3-0. Belt high strike. Rich Hill trying to come from behind to get Diaza. With 1 out here in the 7th inning. 3-1 pitch. And it's fouled back, a full count. Interesting conversation there. Umpire and Diaz. I'm not sure if he thought maybe Diaz hurt himself on that foul ball. He steps out again here. Breaking ball, strike 3 called. He does come all the way back from a 3-0 count to strike out Diaza. 2 down in the inning.
Well, he locked him up. He started this breaking ball off behind him. And you see, I'll tell you, Gomes put down fastball. He shook him off. Fastball, he shook him off until he went to the breaking ball. He knew what he wanted to throw, and he threw a good one. And there he goes. See, they're talking right now. Right about that. So,
he didn't have the paint on his fingernails. I think Rich was having to look in to make sure.
We've seen that happen before.
Yeah.
Yes, we have.
That's why he flashed it a couple times to make sure he could see it. So timeout for another pitching change as Cody Allen will be coming on when we come back.
Tickets are on sale now, and don't be left out of postseason action right here at Progressive Field. Log on to Indians.com 2013 postseason. If you would like more information, you better check it out, and check it out now. Don't be too late. Cody Allen coming on for the 75th time this year. 6-1 record, 2.50 ERA. He has certainly got his share of work this year.
He has indeed. And with 2 outs facing Lurie Garcia. Allen's 1-1. Fouled right back out of play. Now the 1-2. Oh, he got him with a beautiful slider. Cody Allen says goodnight. White Sox go 1-2-3. All three hitters are struck out. And we've reached the 7th inning stretch. Brought to you by Spitzer Auto World. Life is hard. Buying a car shouldn't be. Indians lead it here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Nick Swisher, Jason Kipnis, and Carlos Santana due up for the Tribe. I'm sure Indians fans will take great delight in knowing that a win here tonight will officially eliminate the New York Yankees from postseason contention. What a fiasco they had. Mariano Rivera was supposed to be bobblehead night last night. I think it was last night. And apparently the bobbleheads truck broke down, got lost, something happened. They weren't there at the start of the game. Supposed to be the first 18,000 fans in, get a Mariano bobblehead.
Gotcha.
They roll in, no bobbleheads. So they gave them vouchers. Then they announced in the 3rd inning, the bobbleheads are here. So they started lining up around the stadium. Then half the people missed half the game.
My goodness.
Because they were standing in line around the stadium trying to get their bobblehead doll.
Unbelievable.
Speaking of the Yankees, let's go back to the Hyundai Studios for an in-game update with Al.
And that looks like they've already packed it in. The Rays break this game open a little bit here in the 6th inning. Back-to-back home runs. Evan Longoria, his 30th of the year, a 3-run shot. And David DeJesus, a solo homer, his second with the Rays. It's now 7-2 Tampa Bay, bottom of the 7th inning in New York, Matt.
Yeah, I'd say it's time to pack for the winner for the Yankees. Tell you what, you have to give Tampa Bay credit. They have.
Well, they've been on a roll just like the Indians.
Exactly right.
I mean, they've now won, but if they win that one, 6 straight.
Kipnis gets drilled by the pitch. Yeah, they swept Baltimore and basically knocked Baltimore out of contention. And now they're taking it to New York with Toronto left on their schedule, and Toronto is dead last in the AL East. But that's the beauty of what the Indians have done coming into really this, this position they've been in, which is, hey, you control your own destiny when you're out in front. Makes it tough because you have to continue to win to keep that in play, but if you do, you don't have to worry about, if they lose and then
Remember how we started September? We kept saying we're waiting for somebody to get hot. You wait for a team to get hot and pull away from the pack. Well, two teams are doing it right now. It's the Indians and it's the Rays. And they're the top two teams in the wild card. Everybody was, playing around that 500 mark. They were playing each other. Teams were splitting, series, and they were 4-game series. And you have to take advantage of it. Now, the Indians, too, the schedule sort of favored them a little bit, but they had to get hot. You still have to win the ball game, and you still have to move on.
At the end of the day, everybody plays same amount of games against all the same teams.
Right.
Certainly in the division, it's different, but
no question. Let me tell you, when you get to the playoffs, they don't ask who you beat and how many times you beat them. How many wins did you have? That gets you there. You take the W's and let's go, boys. Let's strap it up and play.
A lot of wild card teams have entered the postseason of baseball and gone on to win the whole thing.
Well, and it's who's playing the best when postseason comes.
That's right.
That's what it's all about. Everyone's saying, okay, they had the best record, so they'll get in. Hey, it all starts anew once October 1st.
What a great jump by Kipnis to throw to second, nowhere near. And Jason just going to keep on motoring into third. So the stolen base, the error, and now Kipnis 90 feet away from adding to the Indians' lead. That's going to force the White Sox to bring the infield in.
Well, when you get hit with a pitch, what do you want to do? I'm going to steal second base. And why not? Opportunities there. They have the lead. He steals it easily. Bigley throws it into center field, so he'll get up and go to third. So we have an error. Another one on the play. Allows Kipnis to go to third base. They'll have to draw the infield in. And Santana has an opportunity to get an RBI.
Santana 1 for 3 on the night. To your point about who's playing the best going into October, there's no perfect formula for it.
Right.
Because, some people say, well, you don't want to clinch too early, you'll be rusty.
You want to rest your guys.
Well, in 95, the Indians had 3 weeks to get ready for the playoffs, and they hit the ground running and never looked back all the way to the World Series.
I think the guys that continue to play, and some teams may want, some players to rest a game here or there. Well, you have to do that on the outside. You still have to continue to win. You play every game like it's a playoff game, and it works out. It seems to work out for you.
Well, Robin Ventura going to go back to his bullpen. And after Charlie Leisman hit a batter and now walked a batter, and the right-hander Jake Petrichka is coming on when we come back. 5-2, Indians lead at bottom of the 7th inning. 2 on, 1 out. Pinch runner at first base is Matt Carson. What a ride he's been on. Brings us to Miller time, brought to you by Miller Lite. Earlier on this homestand, Matt Carson delivering a walk-off game winner.
Yeah, for the time that he has spent up here, he has had a very nice ride, hasn't he?
Well, he's gone 7 for 10 at the plate, which is just a fairy tale like when you consider how many years he's spent in the minors. And one of his hits is a walk-off. And last night, he was the guy going to the plate who was 7 for 10, and Terry Francona said, I'm going to pinch hit Giambi here.
Yeah.
Jake Petrichka, right-hander on. 14th appearance of the year. Yan Gomes, 0 for 3 on the night, will be the batter.
Petrichka spent time between AA and AAA this year. Now ended up in the big leagues. The Indians want to add on. The fans want more. 5-2, bottom of the 7th. First and third, 1 out.
Yeah, pretty good pitch. Dropped it in there for a strike, 2-1.
2-0 count, and you're looking for a fastball. He drops that in there, you spit on it.
We're going to foul back. It's 2-2. First and third, 1 out, 2-2 pitch. And it's in the dirt, full count. You know, we were talking about Matt Carson before. 12 seasons, professional baseball, just a cup of coffee here and there in the big leagues, and just relishing this opportunity to play on a team that's playing meaningful games. And having an opportunity to contribute and doing it in such a positive way, it's been just a huge highlight for him. He's running on the 3-2 pitch. Gomes swings and misses. And Carson glides into second base with a stolen base. And he said, you know, hey, I feel good. I'm still having fun. He's got a baby girl at home. And, you know, Rick, it doesn't matter if you play sports. At some point in your career, you're going to be told it's time to move on, time to think about something else. Doesn't matter. Might be in Little League, might be in high school, might be college, might be in the pros. But at some point for all of us, there's a day where it's sorry, we can't use you anymore.
Sorry, Charlie. Yeah.
You play until they either rip the uniform off or you've had enough, one or the other.
That is right.
You know, for guys like Robin Ventura, he was lucky enough to play a long time in the big leagues, and he was able to say, okay, I'm done. I've had my fill.
Well, he was 38.
Exactly.
You know, most people don't get that opportunity. That's a blessed opportunity when you can play that long. You're very talented, and things worked out for you.
Giambi's had so much fun this year. He's already said, I think I want to play again next year.
Yeah.
And why not? If you're having fun, if you're enjoying it, if the opportunity's there, sure, you go and take it.
Well, yeah, you keep doing it until you can't anymore. He realizes it's a young man's game. He can only do so many things for a team.
Cabrera up the middle, a base hit. That scores Kipnis. Carson comes on home as well. And Yan Gomes delivers a 2-run single. And the Indians have really taken command now with a 7-2 lead.
Well, a nice 2-out base hit by Asdrubal. Just what you wanted, a little breaking ball, and he doesn't do much. You know, the last couple of times up, Cabrera's just put a nice swing on the baseball trying to get base hits. He's had a long swing at times. Last 2 times he gets base hits. He's gone with the pitch, gets a couple of big RBIs. It's now a 7-2 game.
Ryan Rayburn. Down low, ball 1. Well, Matt Carson making the most of his opportunities here with the Indians. Yan Gomes has been a terrific player for the Tribe all season long. Here's Ryan Rayburn bouncing one to short. That will end the inning. The Indians get 2 here in the 7th, and they lead it now 7-2.
Indians and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Cleveland Indians.
(7-2). The Indians lead it here in the 8th inning. Matt Albers coming on now for Cleveland. He's got the 3, 4, and 5 hitters for Chicago. Albers' 54th appearance on the year. 3-1, a 3.30 earned run average. Nick Swisher moves in to first base. Matt Carson is now in right field. The attendance tonight, 30,942. Over 5,000 sold just today, so it's the 3rd largest walk-up crowd ever. Nice play by Aviles. Gets up, throws, and he got him. What a stretch by Swisher. Oh, a defensive beauty turned in by Mike Aviles, with a little help on the back end from Swish.
Yeah, that really was a nice play going into the hole to his left. He gets it. He's going to do a little pop-up slide and a turnaround. And watch the throw to Swisher. Swisher makes the stretch and keeps a foot on the bag. Nice play all the way around. That ball looked like it had a little topspin to it, carrying, but he gets to it.
So the Indians' final season attendance total, just a little over 1.5 million. 1,572,926. Bounce to first, just foul. You and I have talked about it quite a bit. The attendance numbers haven't necessarily been where you would expect with a team that's played as well and as hard as these guys have this year. However, we both agree that the people who do show up here and the people who have showed up here this year on a regular basis, they bring their A game.
They're passionate baseball fans.
On nights we have 15,000, it sounds like 30,000 because they're into it, and it's been a lot of fun.
You know, when you come out and you see a good ball game, there's nothing better in the summertime. You know, the players certainly can't help. The only thing they can do is try to win. When you win, you get more people. People want to see a winner. It hasn't stopped them from following the games on television and on radio. But the people that have been treated to some of these games that they've played here this year, if you haven't been here in person, you've missed a lot. As we showed you some of the walk-offs all game long. Wow.
Talking to a buddy of mine earlier today who's got a son who's around 13, 14 years old, and he said this will be his 11th game of the year that he's coming to tonight. So, again, there's that whole new generation of fans that they're getting turned on by a team that has captured their imagination. 2 down in the 8th. May 17th against the Seattle Mariners, Jason Kipnis got into the act with a walk-off game-winning home run.
We've shown a lot, haven't we, this tonight?
Well, there have been 11, and Murph wanted to get all 11 in there.
Well, he certainly did, and it's like, holy smokes. You know, you forget some of them, and then you get a chance to see the replays again because we're at it every day. And, you know, sometimes you forget about them, how good they were or how fun they were on that moment.
That's like that old saying. When I was a kid, I used to hear people say, oh, you're too close to the forest to see the trees. And I had no idea what they were ever talking about. As I've gotten older, I kind of get it. And I think for you and I, you know, we do this every day. We're into the game every day. Last night was a moment to step back and realize just how big of an impact that game had on this entire region of fans.
Yeah, it really did.
Bounce to third, Aviles throws over. Got him. A 1-2-3 eighth inning for Matt Albers as the Indians are cruising in their final home game of the regular season. Now the Indians with a 7-2 lead as we go to the bottom of the 8th inning, and a reminder to stay tuned for Indians Live, brought to you by Conrad's Tire Express and Total Car Care. It's coming up immediately following the ball game. Now the highlights, reaction from the clubhouse as the Indians will pack up the plane and head to Minnesota for the Final Four. And just a reminder, we'll have tomorrow night's game at 8 o'clock here on Sports Time Ohio. It'll be Zach McAllister against Andrew Albers from Target Field. Grounded to third. Semien throws out Aviles, one down. In-game box score brought to you by your local Hyundai dealers. And tonight, Michael Brantley got it started very well. 3 for his first 3, with a couple of singles, a double, an RBI, and a run scored. Nick Swisher smashed the game open with a 2-run homer in the 5th inning, and then the Indians pulled away with a run in the 6th, 2 more in the 7th. Asdrubal Cabrera putting the capper on it with that 2-run hit with 2 outs in the 7th inning, and why not? The Indians have done so much with 2 outs this year, so many 2-out RBI hits. Upstairs, 1-1. Justin Masterson is up and warming in the Indians bullpen. We anticipated seeing him at some point here tonight, and it looks like he'll be coming on.
How about that?
To pitch the 9th.
That's a sight for sore eyes, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is. Swung out and missed, and that got the umpire on a foul back. It's Mike Everett. He's trying to shake it off.
That ball was coming inside, and Stubbs get a piece of it. Look at the shoulder.
Oh, right, that's there. Almost the exact same spot that C.B. Buckner got hit.
It was CB's a little higher up and closer to his neck, but that you're right, same spot within about a ball width.
Wow. Same homestand.
Never safe back there.
The shot on CB must have been a lot more severe because he went
down.
Straight down.
Yes, he did.
Now the 1-2 slider down low. In the air to right field. In comes Garcia. 2 away. Revisiting our keys to the game, brought to you by Akron Children's Hospital. Keep grinding, and the Indians are headed for another win over Chicago. Looking for their 14th straight against the White Sox. And Michael Brantley, Nick Swisher each had a hand in it tonight. Again, this has been the MO of this team. A lot of different people had a hand in it. Brantley, 3 hits. Swisher, the 2-run homer. Cabrera, 2-out, 2-run base hit. Danny Salazar, a solid start. Very good bullpen work here this evening. Brantley in the air to left field. And the inning is over. We'll go to the 9th inning with the Indians in front, 7-2. Masterson enter the game to a great ovation tonight. They've been waiting to see number 63 back on the mound, and he'll make an appearance here tonight in the 9th inning. Stay tuned for Indians Live, brought to you by Conrad's Tire Express and Total Car Care. It's coming up next, right here on Sports Time Ohio. Rick, there's so much that we don't know. We don't know if the Indians will get into the postseason. If they do, we don't know who and where they'll play. Will it be a play-in game to get into a wild card game? Still a lot we don't know. And we don't know where Justin Masterson fits just yet.
No.
Hopefully tonight is a great first step. And maybe that'll give Terry Francona and company a little more feeling for where he's going to fit.
Think about September 2nd when he came out and they said left oblique or strain. We said, well, he's done. You know what? This is the first step, and it's a great sight to see.
Not only did we figure he was done, we thought maybe the Indians would be done because just how valuable he had been all season long.
I'll tell you what, the pitching just stayed the same, if not got better.
Swing and a miss. And the count of ball and 2 strikes. A little bit low. Two-two pitch. Swing and a miss. He struck him out. Oh, Masterson strikes out the first batter he faces since coming back from the oblique injury.
This one's nowhere close, but it's a slider. It starts out a ball. It goes into the left-handed batter's box, but he gets him to chase it. And he gets a strikeout. What have they had? 14 strikeouts tonight.
Every pitcher has struck out at least one batter for the Indians tonight. And Masterson is the 6th Indians pitcher to work in the ballgame. Broken bat flare. That's going to drop in shallow left field. So 1-on-1 out here in the 9th inning. The executive producer for Sports Time Ohio is Tom Farmer. Coordinating producer for Indians baseball is Steve Warren. Tonight's game produced by Jim Murphy, directed by Pat Murray. Indians Live produced by Mike Bachman. Associate producers Mike Pachta and Steve Bardo. Technical director Dan Larson. Creative consultant Mark Koha. Down low. And again, one final thanks to our home crew, the guys who operate the cameras that bring you all of the great shots night in and night out. Brian McDermott, Kerry Kims, Joe Gamallo, Jimmy Orak, Chris Madden, Mark Shapiro, Johnny Gorsica, Gene Anderson, Mitch Hayden, Igor Klobas, Frank Schubert. Great job to one and all season long.
They are the best, no doubt about it. They help us out day and night, and they are into it. They do a tremendous job.
Swing and a miss. Marcus Semien down on the count of ball and 2 strikes. They make it easy for us to just slide in and do our job night in, night out. Gary Coach, our stage manager. Tom Bushenik keeps the numbers all season long. Bill Schnack, Mike Grignon bring you all the great sounds. And there's a foul on the first base line. And when a home season comes to an end here tonight. And hopefully the Indians will be back here for some October baseball. We'll have the final 4 games from Target Field beginning tomorrow night. 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. He struck him out. Masterson with his 2nd strikeout of this 9th inning. Tell you, Rick, I don't know where it's all going to shake out for Masterson. I just know when I talked to him the other day, he was so fired up to get back on the mound and pitch in a game.
You know, it's unfortunate that it took an injury to give him a little rest, but I guarantee he feels like $1 million out there now.
He does. He feels like a new man. He's like, my arm feels great. I've had this time off. You know, it wasn't an arm injury. That was the most important thing. I mean, you never want to have an injury, but at least it wasn't arm related.
Right.
So the arm just got to sit and rest. Hopefully we'll see him back out here and maybe a starting role before it's all said and done. 1-0 pitch. Swing and a miss. He tied him up. 1-1 to count. And if it's not a starting role, he'll be dominant whatever role they use him in. The 1-1. A little bit low, 2 balls and a strike. A little bit low, 3-1. Josh Vegley 0 for 3 on the night. 3-1 pitch. Grounded towards third. Aviles has it. He'll go to first. And the Indians cap it with a win. The final home game of the regular season in dominant fashion. The Indians handle the White Sox by a final score of 7-2. They finished the season 17-2 against the White Sox. An incredible stretch that has seen them beat their rivals from Chicago 14 straight times. The Indians are now a season best 88-70, 18 games over that 500 mark, and they will stay in front of Texas regardless of what happens the rest of the night in that wild card race.
Well, they certainly came home and they did what they had to do. Coming off that road trip, they won 6 here at home. They couldn't play any better. Some close ball games, they took care of it, and now we're heading out for the last 4 in Minnesota.
Time now for our key play of the game, brought to you by KeyBank.
Well, let's go back. Nick Swisher gets a ball to his liking, and I mean he goes to center field straight away and will hit a 2-run home run. That made it a 4-1 game. That gave him some breathing room. Swish his 21st of the year. He was thrilled to death. A little OH for the fans, and he loved it. KeyBank is proud to be the banking home of the Cleveland Indians. Visit your local branch today.
He loved it, and the 30,000 who showed up for the finale loved it as well. We're back with some final thoughts right after this.